The crumbling magnificence of the old home on the hill became more apparent with each passing year. It was an antiquated structure that seemed to resonate with the voices of long-lost eras. This new house represented an opportunity for the Thompson family to start over and put their turbulent past in the past. The Thompsons were immediately taken with the old-world allure of the huge estate they had just moved into. The flooring groaned as they walked, and the walls were covered with peeling wallpaper. It was an old, mysterious location that betrayed its secrets in the dark of night. Mark was a doting dad, and Lisa was a doting mom to their kids, Emily and Ethan. Moving to this peaceful village and into the mansion's timeless embrace was supposed to help them put the past behind them. But as the first night progressed, they noticed something odd. The mansion's walls seemed to breathe with a life of their own. There were faint, ominous murmurs that resonated through the halls, sending chills down people's spines. "It's just an old house settling," Mark reassured his family, hoping to calm their mounting concerns. The night grew darker, yet the murmurs did not stop. In the living room, which was at the center of the mansion's eerie secrets, the Thompson family clustered around. Lisa's stomach had developed a strange, uneasy feeling that she couldn't shake. Her voice shook as she told Mark, "I don't like this. It's as though these walls are attempting to convey something to us." The oldest of the kids, Emily, was always interested in everything. As she got closer, she placed her ear against the peeling wallpaper. The murmurs intensified, their meanings indecipherable yet malign all the same. Her hair was ruffled by what felt like a chilly breeze seeping through the walls. Her little brother Ethan held on firmly to his teddy bear, his wide eyes mirroring the terror that swept the family. He begged, "Make it stop, Emily." Mark grasped the reins, resolved to bring calm back to the chaotic situation. He reasoned that the whispers may have sprung from drafts or secret tunnels within the estate, so he set out to discover their origin. He took a flashlight and went down the maze of hallways where he heard the most whispering. He followed the ghostly sounds, and as he did, the room got colder and the walls appeared to close in on him. Mark sensed that the mansion itself resisted his presence, as if it were guarding secrets it was not ready to share. Mark found a secret chamber in the basement of the estate, and within that chamber was an old mirror. Its frame was covered with mysterious markings, and the glass sparkled with an unearthly glow. Mark looked into the mirror and saw nothing but a gateway to a dark and evil realm. As the volume of the murmurs increased, Mark became aware of an invisible force drawing him toward the mirror. The evil spirit on the other side was palpable, and it thirsted for his entire being. Mark fell backward, sliding to the floor as he attempted to free himself from the mirror's grip. The mirror image went back to normal, but the doorway had been opened, and the evil realm was free to roam. Mark returned home to his family in a state of pallor as he described the atrocities he had seen. It turned out that the mansion was hiding a doorway to a dark realm, and that the sounds within were those of tortured souls. In the gloom of the living room, the mansion's actual character became chillingly apparent to the family. They weren't alone in the home, and the evil that had been unleashed was a real danger. Their happy new beginning had turned into a terrifying nightmare, and they were now stuck in a place where the walls held terrible secrets and an unfathomable horror waited behind every reflection. It was only the beginning of the fight for the Thompsons' immortal souls, as they had unknowingly passed over into a domain of darkness. The Thompson family was terrified after their first night at the old mansion, and their spiral into despair continued unabated as they learned more about the evil that lurked within the house. The evil mutterings inside the mansion's walls lingered for weeks, growing more ominous with each passing night. No one, not even priests, paranormal investigators, or skeptics, was able to rid the household of the evil spirit. Mark's feeling of duty led him to devote countless hours to learning about the estate's past. He learned that the house had been owned by a shadowy occultist who engaged in taboo rituals in an attempt to summon the evil forces on the other side of the mirror. Mark, in a fit of desperation, tried his hand at closing the mirror's gateway, but the evil powers laughed in his face and continued to torment him with nightmares. He'd turned into an obsessive guy, unable to ignore the voices in his head. Lisa, who had always been there for her family, became cold and distant as the evil in the home slowly suffocated her once vibrant soul. Her eyes were tormented by the horrors she had observed in the mirror's image, and she spent her days in a haze of discomfort. The children, Emily and Ethan, had become helpless bystanders to their family's suffering. The evil powers that kept them hostage were stealing their youthful innocence, and they could feel the darkness closing in on them day by day. Mark made a life-altering choice one night as the rumblings from the walls became more persistent. He thought that the only way to protect his loved ones was to close up the portal to the evil realm beyond the mirror once and for all. Mark went inside the mansion's secret room where the foreboding mirror was in the middle of the night. And spell he had devised himself was his only weapon against the ancient rites that had opened the gateway. His voice cracked through the din of murmurs as he muttered the incantation with quivering palms. As Mark's voice reverberated around the room, a portal to the evil realm formed on the surface of the mirror. The tortured spirits on the other side were visible to him, their expressions contorted with pain. Mark approached the mirror with grim resolve, ready to face the evil head-on. He felt the portal's overwhelming pull as the evil entity reached out to claim him. A faint voice called Mark's name just as he was about to enter the portal. It was Emily. She followed him into the room because she couldn't stand the idea of being alone with her father in the dark. Mark was jolted out of his daze by the sight of his daughter. He couldn't leave his loved ones to face the evil that he saw in the reflection, especially because they needed him. Mark summoned his last ounce of energy and used a talisman he'd discovered to seal the gateway. He and Emily were both knocked to the floor when the mirror surface broke, unleashing a surge of energy. The evil mutterings in the walls suddenly stopped, leaving an unnerving quiet in their place. Once a fortress of isolation, the estate now exuded an eerie serenity. Mark and Emily had closed off the evil dimension, but it had taken a terrible toll on their family. The family's fight against the dark powers was far from ended, and the home still harbored many mysteries. In the gloom of the cell, the father and daughter felt they had formed an unbreakable relationship through their tragedy. The mansion's ominous greeting had tried their mettle, but they were resolved to safeguard their loved ones from the evil that dwelt inside. The Thompsons had seen death in the face and had emerged stronger, prepared to face the shadows that lay in wait for them in the stories yet to be written. The Thompson family was in a vulnerable state of uneasiness after their encounter with the dark realm beyond the mirror. Even after Mark and Emily had closed the gateway, the evil spirit that had been haunting the home was still present. The formerly peaceful and charming home was now a maze of darkness. Even though the whispers had died down, they could still be faintly heard within its confines. The family's determination was unwavering, and they were set on facing the evil spirits that still plagued their house. The tension in the room got heavier when the family gathered there one night. Shadows danced over their faces as the chandelier above them swayed menacingly. The walls themselves emitted a low growl that sent shivers down their spines. Lisa, who was experiencing increasing anxiety herself, finally spoke up. "We can't keep on like this," she said weakly. "We must discover a means to permanently expel these evil powers." Mark nodded his head in assent. He had been consulting specialists in the paranormal and reading old manuscripts in an effort to find a way out of their dire situation. The team discovered a terrifying fact when they dug more into the evil realm they had encountered. It was not a standalone evil, but rather the physical representation of a larger evil that fed off of human emotions of dread and hopelessness. In addition, they discovered a ritual that, if carried out correctly, may lessen the evil force's hold on the estate. In order to ward off the evil spirits, the family gathered artifacts from their history and charged them with good energy as part of a ceremony. The Thompsons, armed with renewed resolve, go about the laborious process of getting ready for the rite. They gathered photos of loved ones and artifacts with special meaning to them. All of the items had their bad energies removed and were charged with positive intentions. On the night of the ceremony, the family gathered once more in the secret room where the evil mirror had stood. As they set up their offerings on a makeshift altar, candles glowed in the gloom. There was a palpable sense of both nervousness and optimism in the air. The air in the room changed as they sang ancient spells that had been passed down through the years. The evil spirits were restless, their presence growing stronger. Discontented murmurs gathered around the shadows, writhing in the room's crevices. But the Thompsons didn't budge an inch. channeling their might into the ritual as a unit. A warm light emanated from the altar's objects, and a shield of protection encircled the household. As a result of the Thompsons' protective shield of love and good vibes, the evil forces retreated. They kept at the routine, putting everything they had into it for hours. The evil apparition gradually diminished, their voices becoming fainter and fainter until they were nothing more than a memory. The exhausted but victorious family finally finished the ceremony, trapping the weakening evil forces within the mansion. The oppressive air began to dissipate, and calmness enveloped the dilapidated home. The Thompsons realized the fight was not completely done when they emerged from the secret chamber. The evil entities were still waiting patiently within the mansion's walls. In spite of this, they were ready to protect their home from the impending doom since they had shown the power of their love and commitment. Once a safe haven for dark deeds and evil rumors, the estate was slowly regaining its former splendor. The Thompsons had dealt with the evil manifestations head-on, and now they were prepared to deal with whatever came next, having strengthened their links of love and resilience through adversity. Although the Thompson family had diminished the malicious manifestations that had haunted their former estate, a pervasive sense of disquiet persisted. Scars ran deep from the struggle of fighting off the evil powers within their own house. After the ceremony, there was a brief moment of calm throughout the mansion. The evil mutterings had died down, and the once dreadful shadows no longer seemed so menacing. After experiencing unspeakable tragedies, the family started again and tried to go on with their lives. Mark buckled down and got to work, determined to make ends meet for his loved ones and get life back to normal. Lisa, who was still shaken by the trauma of their adventure, welcomed the chance to spend time with her kids, appreciating the light at the end of the tunnel. Too young to really appreciate the significance of their family's ordeal, Emily and Ethan cherished the restoration of some kind of normalcy. They ran through the mansion's grounds and rooms like they owned the place, oblivious to the evil that formerly ruled over them. Even yet, the Thompsons' memories were haunted by the evil dimension's continued existence, diminished but not vanquished. Odd things were happening to them, such feeling a cold in the air, having items move on their own, and catching glimpses of shadowy people out of the corner of their eyes. Mark was resolved to face the lingering gloom, so he dove further into his studies, looking for a means to permanently expel the terrible energies from their dwelling. A strong ceremony capable of expelling the evil creatures that had been weakened but not annihilated was detailed in an old document he uncovered. The family had to venture back into the heart of the malicious realm, the hidden room where the malevolent mirror previously stood, in order to complete the ritual, which was fraught with danger. Mark was hesitant because he knew they were in for trouble, but he couldn't stand the idea of leaving his loved ones defenseless against the evil that still lingered. The tension in the estate only intensified as they readied themselves for the rite. The whispers from the walls came back, this time with unmistakable malice. The family sensed the evil spirit's resistance to the impending exodus become stronger. The Thompsons regrouped in the secret room again, this time with sadness in their hearts. A chillier, more foreboding air pervaded the room than before. Their voices were firm and resolved as they chanted the incantations to the flickering light of candles. At the peak of the ceremony, the dark realm rushed around them, trying to engulf them. Family unity and resolve ultimately proven to be the key to success. They battled the evil that threatened them, fighting back against the depths of despair. The family finally summoned their remaining reserves of strength and finished the ceremony, successfully imprisoning the evil spirits and driving them from their house. The evil mutterings in the walls finally died down, leaving behind an eerie stillness. The family emerged from the secret chamber looking worn out but victorious. When the evil powers that had plagued them for so long were finally vanquished, they found refuge in the ancient home. They were standing in the magnificent entrance of the estate when they realized that nothing would ever be the same again. They had survived unspeakable traumas and come out on the other side stronger, their love and determination unwavering. The old home, which had been a source of evil for so long, had become a symbol of their victory over the forces of the underworld. After facing the evil within their home, the Thompsons were stronger and more united than ever before, ready to take on whatever the future brought.